and sent by Gary Melville, and most important, paid for by Gary Melville. Now, that's right. Well, most of you, I don't know if you know me, I'm new to the company, and I've been with the company about four months now, and Gary came to me and asked me if I would MC his big birthday party thrown by Gary Melville. And I was like, thinking about it, God, I don't really know you that well, Gary. I was like, how do you roast a 195-pound diabetic who owns a candy company? I didn't even know where to start, so I thought we should all just take a moment and address the elephant in the room. Gary, you know, the short time that I've known you, I've noticed that you have one of the largest hearts I've ever seen. You're so willing to just give and give and give, letting us use your truck yesterday to help Sarah move. It's just unbelievable, the things that you're willing to do for your employees. And the other thing I noticed is that you've got one of the biggest trucks. That truck is gorgeous, Gary. I don't know how long you've had that. I don't know if you're compensating for something. We'll have to ask Doris about that later. But the other thing, one of the widest plows on the front of that. And I think this is like your third plow, Gary? Third that you keep parking it in the same place. And it just keeps getting stolen. But Gary, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak here for you and to give me the opportunity of the job. I really need that, thank you. But it's not just you, Gary, it's everyone at Melville. I've just noticed everyone's so loving and supportive. Like when I first got to Melville, all the women at Melville were so supportive to me. They were just, Greg, relax, you're gonna be great, just, you know, enjoy it, trust your instincts. And they said, you have a penis, so you should be fine. So I was like, okay, I'll go with that, so okay. Oh, I just got a text from Craig Warner. He says he wished he could be here this evening to roast you, Gary, but he's planning on having an asthma attack and wants to spend the night at urgent care. So he sends his love. Some of the other folks that have been really supportive of me is my good buddy Joe. I'm turning over here. Joe is not only one of my best friends here in Boston, he's also my co-worker, but my cousin-in-law. And when I first started at Melville, he's like, Greg, I'm going to give you a gift. It's a starter kit to survive at Melville. I brought that with me. The first thing was a first aid kit. Yeah. And we also have the CPR mask right here. But most important, for those times you feel faint, the old crash helmet. So anytime you pass out at work, you're ready. The other thing I've noticed is like Jen and Amy they taught me a sport I never knew about. I heard about this new thing for women called drunk bus boxing. I'd never heard of this thing before, but I was really intrigued about it. But one of the other things is when Amy, you've been great. You're like the face of Melville. You really are. First thing you see when you walk through the door, and she told me after like my second day, she's like, Greg, there is a dress code here at Melville. There's a uniform, and I actually brought it tonight. Hold on, I'll show you. I don't know if you know Amy very well, but she gave me this dress code. So, I brought it with me this evening, and I never see anybody else wearing it. But I thought, what the hell? I'll bring it tonight. But Gary, honestly, thank you very much for the opportunity to give me the job. But we're going to bring up our first roaster of the evening. He's the big man on campus. He is our Kojak, our Mr. Clean of Melville, Mr. Scott Griffin.
That is going to be a tough act to follow. Gary, I'm going to try. That was good. Well, Gary, what can I say? No, seriously, I spent the entire day trying to figure out what I could say without getting fired. Gary, I apologize in advance, and if I don't see anyone here tomorrow, it was great work on that. I'm told I had 5 minutes to tell you all the great things that I know about Gary Melville, which is fine, but then I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do with the other 4 minutes and 50 seconds? Well, What can you say about a man who's admired, revered, and loved by everybody? Well, I can start by saying, obviously, we're not talking about Gary Melville. As some of you may know, Gary's self-title at Melville is CEOO, which is Chief Executive Operating Officer. I'd like to talk about the one we gave him, a little more appropriate. It's CEOOL, which is emphasis on L. It's Chief Executive of Ordering Lunch. If Gary put as much effort into trying to get candy orders out the door as he does trying to get lunch orders in the door, Melville will be a Fortune 500 company by then. But all kidding aside, Gary really is a very hard worker. In fact, his employees say he does the work of 3 men. The problem is those 3 men are Mo, Larry, and Curly. And Gary, I don't want to beat you up too badly. You know I love you. You're a very handsome, smart, generous guy. In fact, Gary's the epitome of dark and handsome. When it's dark, he's handsome. Gary's also a very smart guy, so he keeps telling everybody anyway. In fact, when I first started working in Melville, Gary once told me he had a photographic memory. However, about 3 months after working with Gary, I realized he had run out of film a long time ago. Seriously though, Gary, really is, you're such a great guy. Gary's the type of guy that would go to the ends of the earth for you. The problem is he won't stay there. I'm done roasting you, bud. Gary, honestly, it's as much fun as it is to roast you daily, not just here. It's, I truly enjoy working with you as much as I can be fun and poke fun at you. You're a great person. Learned a lot from you, and I really enjoy working with you. So, thank you, bud.
Amy, these are quite comfortable. I'm going to give away a little bit of the secrets, but it's all right. Our next roaster, well, she sent me a little script to read for her, to introduce her, but since it's a roast and we want it to be funny, I'm not going to do it. This next one, she's the daughter that Gary never wanted. Please welcome Jennifer Sweeney.
So I'll try to keep it quick, just like Gary when he runs for his car when there's some actual work to be done. Gary, you look really nice this evening. I'm glad that you decided to let Doris dress you. Notice that he's not wearing rainbow suspenders or an orange jumpsuit. Or how about that blue shirt that he wore for a month straight when he claims that Frank Sr. gave him 7 of them. So, some of you know what it's like to work for Gary Melville. Some of you don't, the lucky ones. When you work for Gary, other companies become very interested in you. This week alone, I got a phone call from the electric company, the cable company, and a debt collector. It's all in fun. You know I love you, Gary. You know that you're good to my son. My son loves you like crazy. You're his best friend. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Happy birthday.
Jennifer Sweeney. Great job, Jen. Hey, did you guys know she had a son? She's never mentioned it before. I know. Well, folks, we're going to keep this moving. Our next roaster, I hope he's here, because half these people I don't know, Mr. Greg Balistieri. Greg here. Come on up, buddy.
Make it count.
What can I say about Gary, who's smart, funny, and a great businessman? But I can start by saying that he's not the man we're celebrating tonight. Tonight's a night I could very easily have missed, but seeing Gary's surprise face at his surprise birthday party was a real surprise. Gary was surprised about playing the surprise birthday as he was to make it out of bed this morning. But Gary's the type of guy who brings home his work with him. However, he never seems to bring it in when he works, everybody else does it. In fact, Gary, if you spent half the time as you did planning this business, as you did plan this party, and working on your business, probably would have been double the size. And speaking of double the size, Gary, your gun collection. You have more small arms militia than most small countries. I'm not sure if you're getting ready for the zombie apocalypse, or you're really just that scared of Joe. It's okay though, we already know you go on 2-hour lunch breaks and spend your time complaining to Scott about your pay. So, Gary, I always know you talk about my dad paying you so I could work in Melbourne. Well, my dad's here tonight, so we were able to finally clear the air. It wasn't the fact that he was paying you for me to work in Melbourne. He was paying you to look good for all those years he was dating my mother. Apparently next to you, he really couldn't mess up, so he actually wanted to pay you back. You probably don't remember, though, because your sugar levels were a little low, and you fell asleep during the conversation. You are awake now, right? You are awake. Can we just make sure he's awake? Okay, good. Gary, sleeping on the job was a job requirement. You'd probably be the best at your position. What most people don't understand, though, is that some people use the left side of their brain to do some things, and some people use the right side of the brain. However, neither side seems to be working in Gary's case. While we're on the topic of remembering Carlos, I thought for those who don't know who Carlos is, it's Gary's alter ego is diagnosed by psychiatrist Doris. The first time Gary actually took me to the casino, it taught me how to basically gamble and drink a gin and tonic and have a good time. Was the time I'll never forget. I mean, who can forget their teen years gambling and drinking in Atlantic City? One of the best times I'll remember as a kid. Sorry, Dad. Seriously, what I've learned from you the most, Gary, is your ability to have fun, look on the bright side, and your generosity. Now that you're almost dead, you should know that there's a stairway to heaven. You should know that there's a stairway to heaven and a highway to hell. And since we all know you're not taking the stairs, so jump in the Charger, enjoy the ride. Just don't forget any trade show pieces to the booth, or Joe will have you turn around and come back. I love you, and couldn't be where I am without you today, Gary. And I hope you have a great birthday, and I look for many more years with you together. And I love you, big guy.
Nice job, Nick. Well, I hope these nuts folks are here. We got coming up next, Mr. Mike Cashman. Mike, are you in the building? Come on down.
It's all part of my fantasy.
Okay. So I guess if Mike's not here, his wife's not here either. So we're going to move on. Glenn! Glenn, come on! Come on, Nick!
Chuck Norris! Hey, how you doing?
Hello? How you doing, Gary?
Chuck Norris, I see him! Oh boy, my wife and I almost didn't make it here tonight, not because we got lost, because we really didn't give a shit. Gary, look at all these wonderful people here tonight to honor you. Isn't this great? All right, you can all put your hands down now. He's not giving anything out tonight. I tell you, I didn't know. I just found out tonight this was a surprise party for Gary. And apparently, Gary's been walking around the past 2 months telling everybody about it. Well, Gary, surprise, you're an asshole. You know, we all know that Gary's one of his best traits is he's a generous man. With Melville Candy, he's providing children around the world with happiness and diabetes. Did you know 4 out of 5 dentists actually recommend Melville Candy? The 5th one speaks English. I actually have a letter here from one of the many children you've helped make happy. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it. Dear Gary, I love your candy. It has been a big part of my mama's life. Mama says we have to wait a while before we can buy some more, so we can save up for my new foot. I'm going to get a robotic one. I wish you could come and visit, but Mama says even if you came, we'd still be 500 yards apart. Love, Honey Boo Boo. Truly, Gary is a special guy. Really. He's the type of man that people take notice of and remember. Just ask the ATF. They have a whole division dedicated just to remembering Gary. Just like the INS. In all seriousness, you know, many good people come to America as immigrants and they get crappy jobs, or they get crammed into buses like cattle and work in horrendous conditions and are treated horribly by their bosses. Anyway, I see there are a lot of people getting on to Gary.